Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final Zoom event that we are running in this little series. My name's Phil, and I will be your host for this evening. We're very excited to be talking this evening about one of the most famous and enduringly popular diving areas in the world, and that is Marsa Alam in southern Egypt, and yeah, a place that's popular for really good reason, and many divers have been there and enjoyed the wonderful reefs. I'm very pleased and honoured to be joined this evening by superstar dive guide Sonia Goggle. Welcome this evening, Sonia. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for the compliment.
Wow, I've bigged you up there, haven't I? But
now I have to live up to it.
So Sonia and I will be discussing Marsa Alam this evening, and we will be focusing on a few of the special species and interactions that happen in the area. Sonia runs biology talks at a wonderful resort that we will just touch on called Wadi Sabara, and created the dive program there. So is an expert on the reefs there. So we're going to give you a little bit of a tour of some of the interesting species and interactions that you can see there. Just before we get going, I'll just mention a couple of things. So this Zoom presentation is being recorded for people that will want to watch it back later and can't join us this evening. There is also a little Q&A button that you will see down at the bottom. If you want to ask a question at any time, you can write something on there. At the end of Sonia's talk, we will go through any questions that you might have, and we will do our best to answer them for you. Okay, so without further ado, if I just share my screen for a moment, and we will dive into the presentation. Okay, so hopefully now you can see a lovely picture of Marsa Alam and the shore. I can't see you anymore, so Sonia, can you just reassure me that we can see my screen?
The screen is there. Lovely shoreside, beautiful desert. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. So Sonia, let's start about you, shall we? So you were born in Colombia, I believe, and now at Wadi Sabara, and have done all sorts of interesting things in between. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your background and your adventures in diving?
Yes, I am Swiss. I grew up in Colombia. I learned to dive there as well. Then when I was about to do my PhD on human bone analysis, I went to the Red Sea for a holiday, and I stayed. And I had a minor in biology from my BA, and then instead of doing bones, I started doing fish. Yes, fish and coral. And I worked with the emperor most of these last 25 years. This was in 97. And I went a bit out to work as a dive guide on a liveaboard in Fiji and in the Solomon Islands and in a resort, Wakatobi Resort in Indonesia. But really, my favorite place to work and to dive is the Red Sea. I like also Indonesia, the Maldives, yes, but for working and just always beautiful weather and beautiful visibility and lots of light underwater and lots of fish, the Red Sea is the best. Yeah.
So, it really is unique.
Of these 26 years, I've been in the Red Sea maybe, 22 for sure, 21, working mostly in liveaboards. But because I need a bit more private space nowadays, since I'm turning 60 this year,
Congratulations.
My dear boss, Luke Atkinson, on the offer to work on shore-based in this lovely Wadi Sabara hotel, small, beautiful hotel, very nice, where we go diving and we combined dive guiding with biology presentation. So we do the presentation, then we go on to the diving, and we kind of look for what we just did the presentation on underwater. And it's always small groups, and it's quite private, and it's just beautiful. And I can go home after the day to my room and have a bit of private space. It works perfect for me as well. Yes. So I can
Wonderful.
keep working for another few years.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Because of course I love being underwater since I was a kid. And I really, yeah, I just need to dive. I hope I will dive until I cannot carry my tank anymore. So yes, this is it.
Yeah, it gets under the skin. So let's just talk in general for anybody that's not familiar with Marsa Alam. So, you know, from Europe and the UK, it's, you know, it's only 4 or 5 hours away. It's one of the most accessible dive areas, but also an outstanding area. Where exactly are we talking about here, Sonia? And what are the sort of the broad characteristics of this area?
Well, Marsa Alam area, there is a lovely airport you can fly to directly at the area where it says Port Galip. So it's not really, Marsa Alam is actually an hour down the road, yeah. But you arrive in the airport of Marsa Alam, and it's and there's like 5 minutes to Port Galip. And this Wadi Sabara Resort, where we are now, Emperor, is 40 minutes down further south from the airport. So it's really close. Yeah, very nice. And
what's the style of the diving there? What sort of is it fringing reefs, drop-offs? What's the character of the dive sites?
There are drop-offs, yes, but most interesting features of this coast are actually the bays. There are deep bays, and they often have a long top reef. So they have currents coming from the top and from the side, and this makes these very rich reefs because they get nutrients from the top of the reef and nutrients coming in from the outside. And it's some of the most beautiful, rich reefs that I've seen in the Red Sea. And there are no currents, very little current inside. Often they have seagrass, so there could be dugongs and big green turtles living in there, guitar sharks, and the seagrass environment is a whole universe to itself with a lot of creatures you can not see anywhere else. And the reefs have a mixture of very beautiful topography, and then like columns and pillars and caverns, and lots of soft coral, hard coral, many fish. It's unbelievable, really, and quite protected. And also from this area, you have access. Well, the liveaboards go out from Mangalep to go to the south, to St. John's and the marine parks, but accessible by speedboat are the Abu Dhabi reefs that have fantastic current systems and hard coral gardens and pinnacles. But also you can get to Elphinstone Reef, and Elphinstone Reef is a about 300 meters long reef, 20 minutes from the shore. And it is a wall dive with plateaus, currents, and it has all the characteristics of an offshore island. So soft coral walls, lots of fish, possibility to see sharks, and mantas, and any pelagic. And it's only 20 minutes speedboat ride from the coast. So it's a pretty interesting area, really. Very nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Fantastic. Okay. And so you mentioned you're based at Wadi Sabara Resort. So this is a little bit of a hidden gem. The secret's starting to get out, but it's a little bit of a special spot, and I think you're very happy there. Can you tell us a little bit about the resort and the Emperor Divers Center that is on site?
Yeah, the Emperor Divers Center opened last year in 2023. And it's very comfortable. It's by the sea, and the hotel is right behind it, so you can walk down to the dive center. And also nice we can take the speedboat from the next hotel up. They have a good bay to go to Elphinstone, and you can take the bus up the road to Port Galep, where we have daily boats, and you can go with those to do the dugong bays. So it's very versatile. We don't only dive from the shore. We take a minibus and we load our equipment on a pickup, and we go to do the shore dives that are 5 to 20 minutes, half an hour ride north and south. So you can do that, but you can also use our daily boats from Galep and speedboats. It's very versatile. And this hotel is unbelievable because it was made by a quite eclectic gentleman from Cairo. He's quite an education and a lot of interest. He collects Bedouin clothing, old Bedouin clothing, and I made a museum. He organized himself with a botanist from Cairo, a Russian lady. She made a huge botanical garden together with a pharaonic garden with lotuses and papyrus, so you can walk. She can walk you through this beautiful botanical garden. And then he has a fantastic library with all sorts of artifacts and old books. It's beautiful. You can sit there and you feel like you are, I don't know, it's like in a Victorian library. It's fantastic. And the rooms are beautiful. The dining area is all open, a little bit elevated with fantastic views of the sea. And you have a lovely infinity pool. You have a beach where you can be. You can do shore diving from the hotel itself. You have a jetty that you can jump in from and come out again from, and dive the shore right and left. Yeah. You can do night dives there as well. So it's really versatile. Yeah. Beautiful.
And full of character as well. That's one of the things we like about it.
And it's a small hotel. It's not these huge resorts, all inclusive, you know, that you get so typically in the Red Sea. It only has 50 rooms, and it looks like itself, it's built like a temple, like a Luxor temple. When you come into it, you think you are like in a temple, you know, it's amazing. And another thing, he has some old Toyota Jeeps without the roof, and you can go to the desert in them, and they are amazing, you know. The desert experience is incredible because you have all 360 view all around, all around, and no roof, and you have these fantastic Bedouins taking you. Yeah, he made everything like really special. Yeah, so it's a very nice place. It's a very special place.
That sounds a lot of fun. You designed the dive program there, and as well as I believe as well as the diving. So either you or your team, you give regular biology presentations to the guests there, which is another unique feature of the resort. What we're going to do, Sonia, is just walk through, sort of touch on a few of the presentations you give, just as a way to focus on some of the interesting marine life that you can see in this area. So if we start off with one of everybody's favorite species, the clownfish or anemone fish, do you want to, can you tell us a little bit about the Red Sea Nemo?
Yes. Yeah, these presentations are actually something really beautiful that I very much enjoy doing, coming from my biology degree as well. So, and it's very amazing because when I used to do them before, people told me that they really enjoyed them because it makes them dive in a completely different way. They are much more aware, and with what they learned, underwater, they look at everything with completely different eyes. So it has always been very successful when I've done it. So also last year when we started, they were very popular. And then people went and dived, and then they looked at anemones and at everything with a different eye. So our Red Sea Nemo is a very special one. It's endemic. It only exists, this kind of Nemo only exists in the Red Sea, this species. Yeah, so we have our own Red Sea anemone fish. And the presentation of the Red Sea anemone fish, we talk a bit about what kind of family belongs to, where you can find where you can find anemone fish in general, and then which one we find in the Red Sea, where do they live on the reef, how they reproduce, and the social structure. And you will find some very interesting details about this Nemo that you wouldn't expect. But I leave it for you to find out when you come. But just for you to see this red mass that is under the Nemo are actually his eggs, and he's protecting them. And it is the male that protects them. Yeah, the female puts them, the male fertilizes them, and the female goes away and leaves the husband to do the job. Yeah. So he has to protect his eggs. Yeah. So that's also part of this presentation. Yeah. And then slide, please.
And we all know from diving with on reefs with clownfish, they can be that they can certainly defend their territory, and they don't really care, do they? That we are hundreds of times the size of them. They will defend their enemy with gusto.
I've never been bitten by anything else in the Red Sea than anemone fish. The anemone fish, actually, I was a bit too close, and he came. She thought my computer was an eye and bit me.
Oh wow, yeah, they're brave little souls, aren't they?
So yeah, they are really feisty considering how small they are, how big we are. And at the end of the presentation, we talk a little bit more about our specific Nemo. Yeah, what makes him special and what differentiates them from other Nemos in the world. Yeah. Yes. And by the way, just a little thing, you see all these black little fish on the top. People think they're actually juvenile Nemos, but they're not. They are juvenile twin spot damsels, and in the juvenile state like to live in the anemone because they feel kind of that protected. Yeah. But baby Nemos actually look exactly like the big Nemos, just small. Yes, just small, detail there. Yeah.
So one of the other things that this area is particularly famous for, and really quite unique, is the dugong, or the dugongs that are in the area. Can you tell us a little bit about the dugongs of Marsa Alam? Maybe starting with what a dugong is, how it differs from a manatee.
Yeah, well, the dugongs, it's very special, this coast, because as we said before, these big bays, many of them have a seagrass. And it's not like British kelp, meters high. It's only tiny seagrass, but it's covered. The bays are inside covered in them, the sandy bottom between the two sides. And you have beautiful big green turtles and dugongs. So they come into these bays to eat, and we can actually observe them. They are not as friendly as the manatees, because if you know from Crystal Springs in Florida, they actually come up to you and hug you and you snorkel with them. Well, the dugongs don't hug you, but they don't mind your presence. So you can actually swim with them and dive with them and observe them, how they go down, eat, come up, breathe, go down, eat. So they are a mammal, so they need to breathe air. So they have to come up to breathe like a dolphin, go down again, and then eat. And they have to eat a lot, so they kind of eat all day. And the difference between a manatee and the dugong, well, the most important difference is actually the tail. The tail of the dugong looks like a dolphin tail, but the tail of a manatee looks like a spade. Yeah. So this is probably the biggest difference. Otherwise, they look pretty much alike. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's wonderful because you can go snorkel with them or dive with them, and you can do this staying in Wadi Sabara and with Emperor. Yeah. Yeah. So this is our dugong eating. So as you can see, the seagrass is just this little seagrass bits that you see on the side here, on the left side. Yeah. And then it's like chomps and chomps and makes a huge sandstorm. Yeah. And goes up, breathes, comes down and keeps eating. Yeah. It's very friendly looking. You have these little eyes there. It's very cute. And in the presentation, we talk a little bit about general description, so differences between dugongs and manatees, how they behave, how their life cycle is. We've actually been able to observe in one of the bays a dugong with a baby. So the dugong and the little mini dugong, about half its size, swimming with it. And they are about 4 meters long. And so the baby dugong is already 2 meters as well. But yeah, because they are mammals, they have, of course, to drink their mother's milk. So they will be staying with the mother for quite a while before they get independent. Yeah.
And what's their range? Do they tend to stay in the same area, or do they cover quite a wide area?
Well, actually, they tend to be quite faithful to their bay. So we have like a Marsa Mubarak dugong, and we have Torombi dugong, and so they kind of stay, the Hermes dugong, and we actually call them, they have names, the dugong Dyson and the dugong Dennis, and we recognize them. If you go on to the next slide.
I love this picture. What's going on here?
So this is one of them crazy guys. So this is actually something that is maybe a one-off. You know, this is the dugong actually cleaning the green turtle. The green turtles, after they have some like little algae growth on their shells, and it's actually cleaning this turtle, which is very weird. And the turtle is, of course, very uncomfortable because turtles don't like anything to push them down, because then they get afraid and stressed that they cannot go and breathe. But this dugong was very happy, you know, kind of eating the seagrass of this turtle, the algae of this turtle. It's a really 1 in a million possibility to see this.
This is one for the comedy wildlife awards. That,
and it's really, I've never heard of anything like this until I saw this photo. And also we talk a little bit about the threats that they suffer, maybe getting caught in nets, you know, and then we'll introduce you to our Marsa Alam dugongs.
Okay.
And also we let you know, like when we go snorkeling or diving with them, how we should behave in order not to bother them, and also not to disturb them, and also in order to have the best view possible. Because of course, marine life doesn't like to be chased around, you know, and everything in the sea swims faster than we do. So it's much better to observe them without chasing them, so that we can actually get to see them much longer.
So I imagine they're quite sensitive animals. They're certainly quite docile, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very docile. They don't. We shouldn't touch anything in the sea really, because the bacteria that we have on our hands, we touch them, they get like skin diseases. Also, they get stressed. But if you don't touch it and you don't chase it, it's actually not going to be bothered at all about your presence. And you can go swim alongside it for quite a long time, and observe it while it's eating or cleaning turtles. Or, you know. Well, yes.
And how long do they tend to stay underwater for? How often do they need to come up to breathe?
They come up to breathe quite a lot.
Okay.
Maybe a minute or two, and then they have to go up again. But they only breathe for a short time, and then they come down again and keep eating. They have to eat a lot. It's very
They must be
they're
hungry.
very big.
There's a lot of seagrass.
So they have to eat a lot.
Okay. And then, so one of the other wonderful things that we find underwater, and that there's quite a few of in the Marsa Alam area, are the cleaning stations, the spas of the sea. So this is another fascinating topic, and another fascinating thing people can learn more about. Tell us a little bit about the cleaning stations in the area and what goes on there.
There's lots of cleaning stations everywhere, and cleaning stations are very important because the cleaner brass, which you can see there in the mouth of the Fusilier, is a beautiful photograph taken by my boss, Luke. And it's a very important part of the daily routine of the fish, because cleaning off debris of food and parasites is very important for the fish's health and general well-being. So cleaning stations are very important. We call them spas of the Red Sea because a cleaning station is like going to the hairdresser. The cleaning fish have their cleaning station, where it's actually a cleaning station, a proper place set up in a very specific, proper area. It's like we call it a spa because it's set up with purpose. in a specific place that is easy for the fish and easy for the cleaning fish, so they can give a good service. It's like you choose your spa because it's good service, professional, nice place, comfortable atmosphere. And it's a bit the same in a cleaning station. People have to, the fish have to feel safe, and they have to get a good service. And the structure of the cleaning station is very complicated. You know, it's not very complicated, but there is a clear structure of hierarchical organization of the cleaning fish family. Yeah, and they service different fish, like fish that live in a certain place, or fish that just pass by, fish that come every day, you know, at the same time to get clean. So it all needs to be taken care of by the cleaner fish in a different way. So it's a very complicated, you know, very well set up situation. It's not just random at all. It's has a very good organization. And there's not only cleaning fish like the ones you see on the left. These are proper, just cleaner wrasse. All they do is clean. And all they eat is parasites and debris. Yeah, but there also are baby wrasse of different species that in their juvenile state also clean, which protects them actually from being eaten. Yeah, and there is shrimps, different kinds of shrimp that also give cleaning service. Yeah.
Okay.
So they also have areas where the fish go to and get cleaned. Not the same area like the fish, different areas. Yeah.
And do different species then, do they clean different fish? For example, are the shrimp always cleaning the anemone fish, or does it vary a little bit?
No, they just service the fish that live in the area, but they can clean any species. Same like the wrasse clean any species. So fish and shrimp clean whoever comes along, from small damsels to sharks. They clean everything. Yeah.
Okay, including it would appear your friend Tracy, if I can manage to go to the next slide.
Look at that. Yes, humans can also get clean. There is a popular dive site in the northern Red Sea. Actually, we all go to this pinnacle, open our mouths, and there come this very eager cleaner fish. Yeah. It's quite incredible. So yeah, when we talk about cleaning stations, we talk about the structure, about what clients come and go, you know, and also we talk about the cleaning fish itself, what the diet, the reproduction, the behavior, yeah, how these cleaning stations are set up. And maybe you might have heard that people think fish are dumb. But actually, after you listen to this presentation, you will see that fish are not dumb at all. The way these cleaning stations are set up, and the way the client and the cleaner interact shows a lot of intelligence, and actually shows that they change the behavior depending on what's happening. So all the features that classify somebody as intelligent are actually present in this cleaner fish. Yeah, so yeah, you will see. Yeah. You will know. Okay. You learn more about it.
Fantastic, yes. Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sonia, that was a fascinating insight into just a few of the interactions and the biology and the special things of that area. Obviously, just a little bit of a taster, but you know, encouraging people hopefully to check out this area and maybe start to view it, as you say, with new eyes as well. So thank you so much for discussing that with us and sharing some of that information with us, Sonia. We'd like to invite those people online. If you've got any questions for Sonia or for myself, please pop onto the Q&A and write your question, and we will share it. Just while people are thinking if they have any questions, Sonia, if I ask you a question, so. If people want to come to Wadi Sabara and listen to you talk or one of the talks you prepared that maybe one of your team gives, what's the best time to come? What's the best time to visit?
The best time to see the presentation or to visit the resort?
To visit the resort.
Well, the resort is open all year. It's functioning all year. I am usually there the second half of the year, about from mid-August to November, end of November. But all year there's people giving presentations. You know, we set them up, and there's many more presentations than these three, and there's new ones to come. So we kind of set up the presentation, and then other staff members that work there, when I'm not there, can do the presentations, of course, as well. In the evenings, before dinner, we do presentations, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, and then we can go and look at whatever presentation was about.
Wonderful! It's such a nice idea. I really love it, to bring a bit
Yeah,
more bit more interest. Yeah, exactly. We've got a couple of questions. So Matthew Barber, hello Matthew. He's asking about the flights and how they work to Marsa Alam. So I can answer that one for you, Matthew. So for a while during COVID, the direct flights in the UK were dropped, but thankfully now, there are seasonal flights with TUI direct to Marsa Alam, and they don't run all year. TUI view it as a winter sun destination, so the direct flights are October to March, but you can travel anytime. There's multiple direct flights, more and more, to Hurghada throughout the year, so you don't have to go into Marsa Alam. It's nice to be able to do that. So you have lots of flights to Hurghada, and then the road south is getting better and better. So it's about 3 hours south down to the resort, and of course they'll meet you and they'll pick you up and make it absolutely hassle-free for you to go down. So don't feel you're tied to that period when they're direct flights, but they are available if you want to use them, and they're a couple of times a week, I believe. So we also have a question from Steve. Can you go to Elphinstone on a few days, and is there a significant extra cost to go to Elphinstone? So let's say, Sonia, somebody's staying for 7 nights. Is Elphinstone a daily trip that you could do if you wanted to, or is it only once or twice a week?
Well, we have to gather a few people, and then we can we could run the daily boat as well, but we can run speedboats from like 5 minutes up the road. Yeah. So if there is an interest, there is a board, you write yourself down, and then when we have a few people together, we can do the speedboat.
Yeah, super. So you need
speedboat is like
4 people or something that would make it,
yeah, 4
or 5.
Yeah. And then Elphinstone is really just you can see it from the resort. You can see the boats. If you have liveaboards, you can see them. It's really just straight line out, straight in front of us.
Yeah, it's beautifully
It's like
located.
20 minutes to get there. Yeah. It's lovely. A bit weather depending, but if the weather is good, there is no problem going. Yeah. It's really fantastic. It's really accessible.
And can people, I think you mentioned it earlier, but can people spend time on a liveaboard and then extend in Wadi Sabara Resort if they want to do that?
Oh, that's a great combination, because most of the dugong dive sites we cannot do by liveaboard. They are only for daily diving, and also the base cannot be done from a liveaboard. The only one is Shuna, but we go to other bays. So the base we go to and the dugong base for diving or for the dugong are not done by a liveaboard. So if you do a liveaboard and then you do a few days in Wadi Sabara, it's actually a very nice combination.
Yeah, lovely. And can you tell us a little bit more about the house reef? So I understand it's pretty extensive, the house reef, and there's a few entry and exit points. So there's lots of interest and multiple dives that you can make there. Is that right?
Yeah, from our jetty, you can go reef to the right and back, reef to the left and back, and you can jump from the jetty that belongs to the next hotel, but we are allowed to use. You can jump from there and go down to our jetty, which is a dive in itself, and it's kind of a sloping wall, and there's lots of anemones, cleaning stations, lots of fish, yeah, lots of nice light. And under the jetty itself, you could actually stay a dive just under the jetty, because jetties are very preferred by schooling fish. So you could actually see quite a lot of schooling fish under this jetty going back and forth to the waves, and they kind of feel protected. They like it under jetties. It's a very productive place to dive. So I always like to spend like at least 50 minutes of the dive just looking at the under the jetty, what's going on here. It's very nice.
Wonderful. I can imagine you could do a whole presentation on jetties.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Sonia, again, it's an absolute delight to have you on, and thank you to everybody for joining this evening. I hope that was interesting, and if that has whetted your appetite to head to Marsa Alam and head to Wadi Sabara, listen to some of Sonia's fantastic presentations and enjoy some of the diving, then as a thank you for joining us this evening, we've got an exclusive offer for you. So you can benefit from dive one person dives, the next person pays half price for their diving on dive packages, and we've got a free upgrade from the resort to full board for you. So there's some nice perks. We'll follow up by email with a few details of that offer. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and particularly to you, Sonia. Thank you very much for sharing just a little bit of your knowledge of the area.
My pleasure.
To enjoy.
My pleasure, Phil. Thank you very much, and thanks also to everybody, and see you there.
Yes, we hope so. Yes. All right, that's it for now. Thanks again for joining, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.